Hi guys, this is Señora Winter. Today we're going to talk about AR verbs, but first I want to show you where you can find all of the materials for this lesson. In Schoology, if you click the April 13th through 16th folder, the fourth link down is our guided notes. Click this link and you'll get this sad google.com refuses to connect logo. Press this box with the arrow and I'll ask you to make a copy. Go ahead and make a copy. And from here, you can, if you have access to a printer, you can print this off and fill in these notes by hand, or you can type the notes directly onto the Google Doc and then save this notes in your Google Drive. Back in Schoology, the link directly below the guided notes is a link to the slideshow that I'm going to be using in this presentation. If you would like to look through this slideshow again later without listening to the video, you're more than welcome to do that. Now let's talk about AR verbs. Specifically, AR verbs in the present tense. Before we get started, we need to define a few words. The first word is a verb. A verb is an action word. Some examples in English are dance, sing, or walk. In Spanish, those words would be bailar, cantar, and caminar. The next word we need to define is subject. The subject is the person or thing doing the action. Remember, in Spanish, our subject pronouns are yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros or nosotras, vosotros or vosotras, ustedes, and ellos or ellas. The next word we need to define is infinitive. An infinitive is the base form of any verb. In English, you'll see this as the word to in front of the verb. So some examples are to dance, to sing, and to walk. In Spanish, we see infinitives as verbs with AR, ER, or IR at the end. So again, those same words are bailar, cantar, and caminar. And you can see all three of them end with AR. And the last word we're going to define today is conjugate. Conjugate means making changes to a verb to say when it's being done and who is doing it. In both English and Spanish, we need to conjugate verbs in order to match the subject so we know who is doing them. You can't just leave them in their infinitive form. In English, the endings are mostly the same, no matter what subject you are referring to. Think, for example, about the verb to talk. How would you change the word to talk in order to say that each of the people in the chart talks? I would like you to take a minute to pause this video and fill out this chart saying how, with the form of to talk, that you'd use to say each person talks. Your chart should look something like this. I talk, you talk, he or she talks, we talk, you all talk, they talk. As you can see, he/she is the only subject that changes form for English. In Spanish, however, each subject category requires a different ending. This is because in Spanish, we don't need to use subject pronouns. The verbs must have different endings so that we can understand who is doing the action. To conjugate a verb in Spanish, you begin with the infinitive. For example, hablar. The habl, habl, is called the stem of the verb, and it tells us what the action is. In this case, talk. The AR is called the ending of the verb, and an AR at the end of a verb means to. Hablar, therefore, means to talk. If we want to change it to say who is talking, we have to conjugate the verb. To conjugate a verb, we follow two steps. Step 1, remove the old ending. Step 2, add a new ending. For hablar, you'd first remove the AR and then add the ending that gives us the information about who is talking. Here are the present tense endings for AR verbs. And we use them to say that someone does or is doing something. For yo or I, the ending is o. For to or you, the ending is as, as. For él/ella, for he or she, the ending is a, or just an a. For nosotros or nosotras, the we form, the ending is amos. For vosotros or vosotras, the you all form, the ending is ice. For ellos or ellas, or ustedes, the ending is on. Now let's conjugate the verb hablar. Again, I'm going to ask you to pause the video for a minute and fill out the next part by yourself. We'll then check our answers together in a bit. Okay, so the first step is dropping your ending. So we have H-A-B-L, habla. For the yo form, you just put an O on the end. So it should say hablo. The to form, you put as on the end. So it should say hablas. For the L or ella form, put an A on the end, so it should say habla. For the nosotros form, you put amos on the end, so it says hablamos. Vosotros form, you put ice on the end, so it says hablais. And for the ustedes form, ustedes and ellos form, you put on at the end. So it should say hablan. All right, class, that's all we have for AR verbs today. If you have any questions, please email me. You have 2 assignments using to help you conjugate AR verbs. Start with assignment 1. That will take you through just conjugation. Assignment 2, you'll have to choose between 2 different conjugations for each subject. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will talk to you guys later.